Yo everybody, what's going on? This is Keegan from Kman Reviews. If you enjoyed this review, be sure you hit that like and a subscribe button, and if you have any opinions at all that you would like to share, leave them down in the comment section. Crazy Lixx, Forever Wild. Crazy Lixx are a Swedish glam and hair metal band formed in 2002. Fronted by vocalist Danny Rexon, the band takes on a couple more eclectic influences than some of the other Scandinavian metal acts I covered. Stuff like Kiss, Guns N' Roses, and Motley Crue. Thank you so much for requesting this band, you know who you are, and their sixth and as of to date latest studio album, Forever Wild, released in 2019. Where do I stand on this band in comparison to the other bands I've covered? Let's find out as I review this album, track by track. We'll start with the singles, with there being two of them. The first one being Breakout definitely holds nothing back on the influences, especially with all the cymbal crashes and the percussion, very reminiscent of some Motley Crue. Everything else though is so distinctly 80s, from the deep pounds of the drums, the gritty guitar riff, even Danny's vocals have a nasally, almost childish tone to them like a younger Axl Rose. Not to even mention the harmonies on the chorus and pre-chorus feel nostalgic in all the best ways. And lyrically, the song is about forgetting all your troubles, breaking out of your shell, and being free. Fantastic song. And the second and final single, Silent Thunder, is a much more of a loud, epic track all around, mainly led by this beautiful guitar riff. But there's also some solid drum work, and an almost empowering guitar solo as well. The harmonies are even more nostalgic on this track, providing this weirdly ethereal moment on the tune that reminds me of some power metal from the 2000s. While it may be a 5-minute long track, this is a very fun one with these lyrics about coming out of the silence, guns blazing, standing up and fighting. Another great song, basically a flawless singles run. Let's see how the rest of the album compares. Now for the rest of the tracks. The opener Wicked is a ferocious album opener, swinging from the opening seconds with its loud, in-your-face guitar riff. The track doesn't even let up once. The drums pack a heavy punch, and Danny's vocals are pushed at a respectably forward place in the mix, and the harmonies only add to that factor. The guitar solo is the candle to top off this magnificent song, only to lead to a muted bridge that serves as an ominous build-up to this wonderful falsetto. Lyrically, it's about this woman being a dangerous type of love. Simple, but what an opener. Amazing song. Parentheses, She's Wearing Yesterday's Face is another track that doesn't let up on the gas at all. The guitar riff has an outlaw country twang to it, and when paired with the aggressive drum pounds, it sounds way more like a harder rock track, which I enjoy quite a bit. There's a tasteful amount of energy here as well, something that just makes me want to pump my fist in the air. Danny's vocals are great again, a little bit deeper than the previous track, which probably would have benefited from some higher vocals, but it's still great as he sings about this woman who keeps playing the guys, wearing the same face every day. Great song, I love it. Eagle, the longest track on this record at a soaring 6 minutes and 20 seconds, slows things down a bit on opening moments, with a soothing down-tempo rhythm. It really tries to be this intimate, personal, motivational rock track, and while to some aspects it does that in spades, it's not a perfect song. For one, there could definitely be a bit more emotion behind this instrumental. It's a little bit flat for a song like this, but Danny's vocals are pretty efficient in portraying that the best they can. It definitely didn't need to be the length it is as well, could have been cut by about a minute or even two, but for what it is, it's fine. Nothing spectacular about this one though. Terminal Velocity is a kind of track that leaves a little bit to be desired. The tone really doesn't stack up to any of the tracks prior, it just feels like a step down in pretty much every front. Danny's vocals are still killer though, they're probably the best part of the tune. They pack a good amount of weight even without the harmonies. But the chorus is really the most disappointing part of the track. It lacks so much energy and doesn't feel like a worthy payoff at all to the tense verses. Lyrically, it's about falling for this girl, but it's taken in such a literal way that he's actually falling at terminal velocity. As a whole, though, this one is very little for me. I'll pass. It's You basically feels like terminal velocity done right, but with a couple extra garnishes. For one, there's a light synth melody in the background that adds an extra bit of flavor to the track. Plus, there's some good energy all around with the smooth drums, the engaging guitar, not to mention a great solo in there as well. Danny's vocals soar with life on this one as well. He's got an honest, heartfelt feeling to his singing as he sings about how this girl is a missing angel from heaven. It just feels like it's that true love. Good song, give this one a spin. Love Don't Live Here Anymore is this sweeping grand rock ballad with this beautiful guitar riff, strong yet slow drums, and a warm melody as Danny sings about this relationship that fell apart, and now there's just cold memories of what once was. Speaking of Danny's voice, they're not the most suited towards balladry. He really tries to pull it back for this track, but it's a little bit awkward. It definitely isn't his wheelhouse at all. The song is slightly long in my opinion. Not the worst offender of length on this record, but this could have been cut in my opinion. Much like Eagle, it's nothing to write home about, but don't count this one out at all. If you like cheesy rock ballads from the 80s, give this one a go. Weekend Lover brings back the full, engulfing energy that took over the first half of this record, and this is a wonderful song. The drums have a powerful groove to them, and that guitar riff is just as infectious as ever as Danny sings over it in this tone that really reminds me of Guns N' Roses in all the best ways, with the killer harmonies and a tight, well-rounded guitar solo to boot. Lyrically, it's about this girl who only goes to different men when she needs it, but this guy won't fall for her dirty tricks. Great song, one worth hearing off this album for sure. And finally, the closer Never Die parentheses Forever Wild is a fairly solid closer, but it isn't quite the bang I was expecting from such a high energy project for the most part. Aside from the guitar solo, which is pretty invigorating, the chorus is slightly flat, and the harmonies are a little bit dull, but unlike tracks like Terminal Velocity, this doesn't really kill the track. For one, Danny's vocals really make up for that, and even though the track is the full 5 minutes long, it feels like a satisfying send-off as he sings about there being no chains that can hold him, he's forever wild. It's still a good song despite some of the negatives I said. Overall, while Forever Wild may not have been the album I was expecting from modern hair or glam metal, this was still enjoyable. Tough riffs, catchy grooves, nostalgic vocals, and while some of the tracks fell a bit flat, I still found a lot worth keeping around. I'm feeling a 7 out of 10 on this album. Well guys, hope you enjoyed that review. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.